Hi Debirians and welcome to the party. In this video we will show you how to play Castle Party, a game designed by Eugeni Castaño and Josep Maria Llué with a really cute art made by L'Oreal. This is a flip and write game for 2 to 4 players that lasts around 30 minutes that takes us to the most important night for the monsters, when the Pumpkin King celebrates its annual party, and of course all monsters are invited, and it's going to be your job to make all those monsters have the best of their times by placing them together with their own kind and making sure that they enjoy all the surprises that the king has prepared for them. So put on your best clothes, because we have a party to attend. But before the setup, we're going to take a closer look to what's included in the box. Once you open it, you will find the rules in different languages, of course. 4 castle boards with 2 sides, the square empty one for the regular game, and that one for the Rave party version that we're going to explain at the end of the video. 4 markers, and you will find also several cards. Okay, those cards include monster cards like Frankenstein monsters, vampires, witches, skeletons, and ghosts. Each family with a king or a queen as a head of the family, like that one here, the skeleton one. Those kings or queens are represented with a dot next to the monster symbol. So you can see here, you have one for each family. And you have also unicorns, which are not monsters, but because they like to party and they bring joy and glamour, they are always invited to the most special events. You will find also different cards with shapes, like those here, okay, and 3 cards with clocks that we're going to explain what do you have to do with those. So now that we have checked what's inside the box, it's time to get ready to start playing. For the setup, each player must take a castle board. For now, for the regular game, we're going to play the side with the square, with the empty square, a marker, and you have to shuffle the monster cards and deal 3 cards to each player. In this game, your relative position according to the playing zone, in this case the table, is really important. So once you pick a place, try to respect it for the entire game, okay? Then you have to shuffle the shape cards and split the deck in 4 equal piles. And you have to add to 3 of them 1 clock card, okay? 2 and 3, shuffle them separately, and then stick the deck back together, making sure that the one in the top is the one without the clock. Those clocks represent the special moments and surprises during the game, being the third one, the big finale that puts an end to the party, and of course to the game. So now everything is ready to start the party. So the game takes place with players alternating turns as an active player until the display of the 3rd clock, which is the end of the game, and it's time to check for the winner. Okay? During your turn, you have to take the first card in the shape deck and place it on the table in the position that you prefer. Okay? Then choose one of your monsters and place it next to the shape card, line up with the X in the shape card, okay? Now, with all the players, you have to represent the shape with a group of monsters. So, following clockwise, the next player will select one of their monsters, place it next to one that is already in the table, and you will continue that way until the group of monsters is complete. Every time a player places a monster, draws a new one, so you will always have 3 cards in your hand. So, once the group is complete, it's time to welcome the customers to the party. But first we have to check if any player wants to use any special action. In the same turn, just one player can use a special action. So, starting with the active player, we have to check, following clockwise, if anyone wants to use it. Okay? All players have 3 special actions to use, and each one of those 3 actions can be used just once during the game. Okay? Those actions are the following. First, you have the lights out, okay, which allows you to reorganize the monsters in the group respecting the shape and the orientation, but you can change the position of the monsters. The second one, that first one affects all the players, okay? Those changes will affect all the players in the game. The second one is the masked balls. With that action, you can choose a regular monster, so no queens or kings or unicorns, just regular monsters, and draw them as a different regular monsters in your castle, okay? That change will affect just yourself, the active player that used that action. And finally, you have the reorientation one. You can rotate the shape card, sorry, and obviously you rotate also the monsters, the group of monsters. Okay, that change will also affect all the players. Also, once you have used one of the actions, you have to mark it as used, because first, you cannot repeat again that action, and also at the end of the game, all unused actions will give you extra points. And after that, now it's time to welcome the customers to the party. So all players must draw the group of monsters in their castle, okay? Respecting, obviously, the shape, the position of the shape, and also the relative position of the monsters. So, like that, pop, pop. And the unicorn. You can draw part of the group outside of the castle. Okay, it's no problem. The only thing is that at the end of the game, all monsters placed in the mode will score you 1 negative point, and all monsters placed in the bridge won't score any point at all. So you have to make sure of that. Once all the players have placed the monsters in their castles, it's time to discard the cards. The regular monsters are discarded here, and all the special monsters like kings, queens, or unicorns are removed from the game. Okay, they can be placed just once. If at any point you run out of cards in the monsters deck, you can take the discards, shuffle them, and make a new deck and continue playing as normal. And after that is going to be the next player's turn, and he or she will take the next shape card. As you can see, there are different shapes here, and well, he or she will place the card, select one of the monsters, and continue that way. And we will continue the turns that way until the display of a clock card. Okay, as we said before, those clocks represent special events that the king has prepared for the customers. So when the clock is displayed, all players must score immediately for one of those events. Okay, each one of those events can be scored just once during the game. So with the first clock, you have 3 events to choose. With the second clock, you will have just 2, and with the third clock, just the remaining 1. Okay, those events are the following. The first one is the firework. Okay, you will score 1 point for every monster placed next to a window. Okay, those spaces here. So in that case, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 points. Okay, because they are next to the windows, they can enjoy the fireworks spectacle that takes outside of the castle. The second one is the largest conga. You have to seek for the largest group of monsters of the same family, and you will score 1 point for every monster orthogonally connected. Okay, orthogonally connected, that means that they have to be in direct contact, not in diagonal. That one won't count. But here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vampires. Will be 7 because it's the largest group. And the third one is the toast to the Pumpkin King. Okay, the Pumpkin King appears in the party. So you have to draw the symbol of the king, just a crown, and you will score 1 point for every monster, for every different monster that is around the king. Okay, in that case, kings or queens represent different monsters than their family. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's the queen of witches and a witch, and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it will be 6 points. So with the display of the third clock, it's time to score for the final event, and also check who's the winner, checking all the scores, okay? It's really simple, you just have to follow what is down here in the board, okay? You have to add to the points of the events the points that corresponds to the largest group of each family, again orthogonally connected, not in diagonal. And here you will score extra points if the king or queen of that family is in the group. You will score 1 extra point for every monster of that family that is around the king or the queen. But I repeat, just if the king or the queen is in the group. Okay, in the case of the vampire, for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, and you have to add 1, 2, 3, and 4 points because they are around the vampire king. Okay, so a total of 11. You have to do that with all the families of monsters. Then you have to add 2 extra points for every unused action. Okay, so in that case, it's just 1, 2. As we said before, 1 negative point for every monster in the mode, 1 vampire, so -1. And finally, for the unicorns, you score -1, 1, 5, 10, or 15 points, depending if in the largest group there are 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 unicorns. In that case, we have just 2 unicorns, so 1 point. That scores a total of 52 points. So that's our final score. And at the end of the game, the player with more points is going to be the winner and is the one that performed the best party. We said before that there's another version of the game, a little bit harder, that is the Rave party one, okay? That's the side of the board for the Rave party. So you can see there are some gathering points already placed in the castle. Each monster has a predilection for those gathering points. For example, Frankenstein monsters, they love to dance around the speakers. Ghosts are amazed by the lights of the mirroring balls. Skeletons like to move their bones next to the DJ. Vampires love the punch. Or you can always see the witches next to the table of Dors d'Ebre. So the game works as normal, everything like in the regular one, but at the end of the game you will score 1 extra point for every monster directly connect, so the 4 to the side, with his gathering point. Even if they are not in the largest group, okay? So that's the only difference. You can score those here, but the rest of the game works as normal. And that's it. That's Castle Party. A fast but funny game with some interaction thanks to those actions that allows you to make changes in the group of monsters, and which I'm really sure that you will enjoy for sure. Okay, I hope that you have enjoyed the video, and remember to keep playing. Bye.